Hey, what's up YouTube? It's abluegolfball here today with another Pokemon TCG online video, and today I have a very interesting deck for you guys from the Ancient Origins set. We have showcasing today the Malamar 90 HP Darkness Pokemon with Entangling Control and Trash Tentacle. This deck was brought to you guys by JJS90 from Germany. I actually ran into him on a random ranked match, and he was playing this deck, and it was a very intriguing deck, and so I was able to get this deck from him, and definitely this is almost a deck list verbatim from his, and it was definitely a very interesting and fun deck to play. This deck is going to be focused on the two attacks here, Entangling Control and Trash Tentacle, and the main focus of this deck is to ideally kind of deck your opponent out, but certainly you can win by getting all 6 prizes and doing enough Trash Tentacles over time. But here, the Entangling Control, switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with his or her active Pokemon. The new active Pokemon is now confused. And then the next attack here, with just 1 Darkness Energy, put a card from your discard pile back into your hand. Hits for 30 damage as well. That's actually pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of like Junk Hunt. Because Junk Hunt, you grab 2 item cards. So you grab 2 item cards for Junk Hunt. But this, you grab any card and put it into your hand, and you do 30 damage. Of course, it is a stage 1, so you have to evolve the Inkay at least once. Yeah, we're going to be playing a 3-3 line of Inkay, Malamar, and we're going to be playing a 3-1 line of Bunnelby and Diggersby here, or how do you pronounce his name? Yeah, Diggersby. So the thing here is, we want to perhaps even put cards back into our deck. You never know when this attack could be useful. But Burrow here, discard the top card of your opponent's deck. We can mill them out, and plus we have the Barrage trait. We can attack 2 times on turn, and again, we can also shuffle a card from a discard pile back into our deck. So we have that available to us as well, especially in scenarios where both players are about to deck out. We can have that, and it works pretty well. We do have the Sableye here, as I mentioned before. This is not the Sableye from, what is that? Dark Explorers with Junk Hunt. It's Bewitching Eyes Sableye. It's got no weakness and no resistance. Does have 1 retreat. Choose a supporter card from your opponent's discard pile and use it as the effect of this attack. So that's actually pretty good. Being able to use that, it's almost as if you're playing. If your opponent has like maybe Shauna or maybe Professor Birch's observation, something like that, you can, it's a good draw support, and it almost works as if it's like a pseudo kind of a pseudo Tropical Beach, but you have to play an energy, and it's an attack, but you end your turn with the attack anyways, you end your turn with Tropical Beach anyways, so it's very similar in that kind of sense. We'll probably never use this attack, but that's about it for the Sableye. We will have 1 tech in here with the Eviltal EX in the scenarios where if you do want to take all 6 prizes and you have an opportunity to do that, you can hit for an Evil Ball for 20 base damage plus 20 more damage for each energy attached to both active Pokemon, and a White Cyclone to preserve energy as well. It does have a 2 retreat cost on the Eviltal. Be watchful for that, and it is lightning weak. Now we'll have this tech here. Alright, so we have a Team Magma's Muck making his showcase here, and man, I feel sorry for this poor girl and this Pokemon here. This is the Numel here. This guy here is 110, so it's kind of beefy, but the problem is a 3 retreat cost, so it's easy target to get Lysandre out. And the thing is, we're just using it for the ability. Sludge Festival here, the retreat cost of each Pokemon in play, except Team Aqua Pokemon, is 1 more. And that means your own Pokemon. Since there's no such thing as Keldeo with Foltstone or Rush In and Retreat, the only way your opponent can get out of these scenarios is to pay the retreat cost or switch and other means. So your opponent can still get out of the active spot, but then we're gonna be using Malamar and Entangling Control, putting into confusion, and that means they can't attack and they're gonna have a huge retreat cost. What are they gonna do? Are they going to just attack and hurt themselves? Are they going to pay their retreat costs and burn these energies? Are they going to waste or burn turns until they get a switch, if they even play any switches? You never know. So a 1-1 line of Muck here is an interesting tech. I do like that indeed. And since we will be playing Muck, we might as well play Team Magma's Aqua Secret Base and our Team Magma. Did I say Team Magma? Team Aqua's Secret Base. Yeah, huh. And retreat cost of each Pokemon play, except for Team Aqua Pokemon, is 1 more. So you never know. This actually ends up being useful for this kind of deck. And that's it for the Pokemon line. 15 Pokemon in total. Let's take a look at the item cards and whatnot. We have 3 Crushing Hammers here just to annoy our opponent. We have Energy Retrieval to get some energies back. We have Enhance Hammer, 2 of these to trouble our opponents. Even some more Level Ball, a couple of these, and Professor's Letter. Sacred Ash, 1 of these could be very useful to get some resources back into, Pokemon resources back into our deck. And starting Megaphone as well as Switch. Gotta have a couple of these, so 2 switches, because we got heavy Pokemon, especially with the support of the, the ability as well as the stadium. We definitely need a switch or two. And Ultra Ball, 2 of these. And then we have the VS Seeker Classic. Every deck has VS Seeker as of right now. Lysander, we got Birch, as well as Sycamore. Only 1 Sycamore, 4 Birches, because, you know, maybe you actually want to draw 4 sometimes. You never know. We have Sycamore here. Discard your hand and draw 7 cards. Only 1 of these, because you know why? We don't want to discard our hand so much. Besides, we got Sableye here. Most decks play 4 copies of Sycamore. We can always use Bewitching Eyes if we really need to copy our opponent's Sycamore. And 2 Shaunas here, and then 2 Team Flare Grunts. That's it for the support line. We already talked about Team Aqua Secret Base, and here is 2 Headringers just to trouble our opponent's EX Pokemon. 4 DCs and a couple of these. The rest of 2 DCs and 8 Darkness Energies. So that's it for the deck. Let's go ahead and see this deck in action on Pokemon TCG Online. Alright, and we're playing against Gertz with the Z at the end, or Guts, Gertz. Oh, there's R. Yeah, it's Gertz. And, okay, my opponent had a really cool deck box, that's for sure. We see Lightning Sleeves as well as a Lightning Coin. And I think my opponent has the opportunity to choose heads or tails to start off the game. And we gotta wait and see what does my opponent choose and who gets to go first. As of right now, we have no idea. But hey, I like the yellow hair. It matches your yellow deck sleeves. Here we go. My opponent does flip heads. Does get to go first. And, oh wow, we see Mega Ampharos EX DC as well. I'm going to start off with the Sableye here. We'll play the Inkay on the bench, and we do get an extra card as well. Choose a supporter card from your opponent's discard pile and use it as the effect of this attack. That's indeed the Bewitching Eyes. And my opponent gives a smiley face of some sort. I'll have to say hello in return. Hello, and good luck to you. Alright, exclamation point as well. No smiley face yet. Maybe I'll do that later. Oh, hi, good luck. I watch your videos. Oh, that's great. Alright, he gets a smiley face this time. Oh, sure. That's awesome. Alright, okay, I'll say awesome instead of great. And smiley face, there it is. And we see the Ampharos Spirit Link as well as a Larvesta here on the bench. We can play this as well. My opponent does not have anything in the discard pile. Play this right there. Let's go with a Shauna, and we do got a switch, and that's it. Nothing. Oh man, too bad we didn't. If only my opponent had a supporter in the discard pile, maybe we could have used that. But here is the Valcorona. Now my opponent can use a Solar Birth. We see a DCE right there. We have an Enhance Hammer, which is a very sweet, very lucky for us. I hate Enhance Hammer, but it's good that we use it. So, as of right now, I mean, we can always get the stadium back, so I'm not too worried about that. We do get hit for a Thunder Rod, and let's just get rid of this right there. I don't want to play VS Secret for that. Let's go for the Shauna right here, and I don't think I need another Sableye. So here's this. I suppose we could play the Yveltal, but the Yveltal is weak to lightning. It's not going to be very wise to do that. And I don't want to, oh man, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna discard everything. Let's go with the Sycamore and discard our hand. Alright, there we go, we got a fresh hand. We discard a couple things. Again, we can always get these item cards back because of our Pokemon that we use, but thank goodness we have a level ball, so we got a fresh hand size of 7. I appreciate that very much. Here we see a Sycamore from my opponent. We see an Escape Rope. We do get the Inkay out in the active spot. Here's the Valcorona. We will see a Solar Birth. That's going to be very inconvenient. And that means, well, I don't think, well, I mean, we could still play level ball, maybe get another Inkay or something like that. Or maybe try to get that Grimer going, huh? Let's try to do that, right? I mean, I don't know. What would be the best thing to do? We do get hit for the Solar Birth, and he's going to get 2 basic energies on that guy, but we do have 2 Crushing Hammers. Maybe we can get 2 heads off of this. Oh, no, it's a Landorus as well. We can see a Headlock. All right, let's go for this. Do we flip heads? And yes, I think we're going to get rid of that first. And do we flip heads? And yes, we did. That is ridiculously convenient. And, alright, so here is the Malamar. Let's go ahead and bring this guy out. Let's go for a Professor Birch's Observation. Of course, we would flip tails. And we're going to go for an Entangling Control. And we're going to bring out this Ampharos here and confuse it. It's got a 3 retreat cost, very heavy. And we'll probably just go with the Trash Tangle in the next turn. start getting some things into our hand. Now, I don't think I need this Diggersby by any means, so I'm going to discard him, and what I really want is this Grimer. Oh, no. Oh, man. So this Grimer is not going to be much use for us, so we might just have to bring out this Bunnelby, and at some point we could probably start milling my opponent. Let's go for the Professor Bird's observation. Would we flip heads? And yes, we do, and we even have a Team Flare Grunt. So here we go. Trash Tangle, head for 30, and we get to pick up something from our discard pile. So I might just pick up. No need for the Team Aqua's base because, well, that's not necessary. All right, let's just go with this right here. We do have a Team Flare Grunt for the next turn. My opponent won't be able to power this guy up right away unless we see something tricky like a energy switch plus something else. But we see a DCE. Let's go ahead. We're going to play the Crushing Hammer right here. We do get heads. And we'll just get rid of that right there. And we'll get rid of this right there. And we'll even play the Head Mirror over here. This is a very brutally annoying deck. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean, my friend. And let's go for the Trash Tangle again. We'll pick up something. Let's pick up the Team Aqua base now. That way my opponent can stop healing. Probably could have picked up a Professor Birch's observation. That way it could have helped us, you know, perhaps drawing more cards. But, you know, if we can deck out our opponent, that would be really nice too. So let's counter that stadium right there. We'll get this Bunnelby ready to go. And might as well. Let's get out this Grimer. And here he is. Alright, let's go with the... oh, wait. Oh, shucks. I didn't mean to do this. Misclicked. There we go. Oh, man, that was a huge misclick. But my opponent can still retreat. So we can see that happen. But my opponent won't be able to do anything. And that was a bit of a misclick on our part right there. I was supposed to hit him for 30. We do get... oh, no. Here comes the Grimer. And my opponent used the Lysander right there. Probably have to retreat this Grimer somehow. Man, maybe I should have never played him. And here is a Rough Seas. My opponent can still play the retreat costs and retreat right here. This Grimer probably should have never saw the light of day since our muck is in our prizes. So that means we have to see if we can get a switch or something like that. But a lot of resources. One switch is in the discard pile already. Plenty of resources already in the discard pile. We're going to have to use our Diggersby right now. So let's do that. We're just going to retreat right here. And we'll go with this right here. Put something. Let's put, perhaps we'll put the this right here. And we'll just go ahead. Do this again. And I actually want to switch. So let's go with that. Alright, so in the next turn, maybe we can start using Burl, start discarding some things. See my opponent play a Professor Sycamore. Oh, that's our cue right there, guys. That is our cue. We got to start discarding some things. Well, we got to wait and see. Does my opponent play an energy? Do we see a switch? Oh, man, the Thunderous is getting powered up here. We could see a Headlock, and that would be very, very disappointing. Let's see. It's a 2 retreat cost to retreat this guy. I think I'm just going to retreat him, and we'll bring out the Malamar. Let's go with an Entangling Control. Bring back this Ampharos out here. We got to counter this Rough Seas at some point. Oh, no, we see a switch. Oh, no, we see a Via Seeker. Ah, shucks. I did not expect to see that switch. But we burned a DCE, guys. We burned a DCE. But we can always get that back, too, with the Malamar. We do have, you know, can bring back a, put a card from your discard pile back into your hand. We see a Professor Sycamore. We see a Trainer's Mail. We see a Professor Birch's observation as well. Here it is. My opponent will be able to hit us for a Headlock. Wow, my opponent does flip heads right there. And we have a couple Bunnelbys here to work with as well. So here is the Headlock. We get hit for 60. That's no problem. I'm going to actually no, need a switch. Let's go ahead and bring this guy out here. Let's see if my opponent has another switch. If he does, that will be a knockout on the Malamar. If he doesn't, then hey, that's okay too. Oh no, we can see a Voltage Rush now. And here's the switch. Shucks, now that is very disappointing. We do get a Headlock that would finish us off. We do get paralyzed, but that's okay. Let's bring out the Malamar here, guys. Malamar for the win, perhaps. Let's just go Entangling Control, bring back this Ampharos here, maybe buy ourselves a turn. and see what we can do. Otherwise, we need to slowly grab our resources back somehow. Man, oh man, maybe we'll have to go with the Professor Birch's observation after all. But we do have these bumblebees here. Again, my opponent will play the DCE. Let's see. Well, you know what? I'm actually gonna switch right here, and let's just go ahead. We'll burrow. And we'll discard again, and burrow, and discard again. We discarded 2 Trainer's Mail. Now my opponent can play an energy here and switch into the Thunderous. But in that way, we'll probably just go ahead and play the Malamar, bring out the Ampharos again. And my opponent plays a Professor Birch's observation down to 2 cards. Does he not realize he may just deck out? And we'll win the game right here, folks. We'll just barrel for the win. And GG to my opponent. I'm going to have to say, oh man, GG. I think this is... oh man. Yeah. Oh man, sad face though. Oh man, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry. Oh man, okay, I must apologize. But hey, we got the victory here without really attacking much. We only hit for 60. My opponent only hit for 90. Think about that, huh? Only 90 damage dealt. My opponent healed all 60 damage that we did. And Malamar with the win right here. Let's go ahead and play another match here on Pokemon TCG Online. All right, we're playing against Ma_1080, and we get the opportunity to go first. That is fantastic. Going first is what I love to have the opportunity to do. And we're going to start off pretty good right here. We're going to start off with we're going to lead with a Sableye, I think. That might be the best choice. The Sableye does have 10 more HP. Hey man, so which deck are you testing today? Well, you'll find out. It's a good one. All right, hopefully. We're gonna start off. We're gonna lead with the Sableye. Let's go with the Shauna right here. We definitely need to get an energy drop at the very least, and we'll end the turn. We do get a DCE here, which we can probably play on the Bumblebee. I might just go ahead and play the Darkness Energy on the Bumblebee instead. Oh, we see a Korrina, so we may be seeing some fighting Pokemon, and it is. We see the Mienfoo right here coming into play onto the bench. My opponent's gonna be probably going for these arrow turns, hitting us and things like that. But what we want to do is confuse our opponent anyway. So our strategy here may work pretty well in terms of what my opponent's trying to do. So let's go ahead. We will go with this right here and play the Shauna. And we do get the this base right here. We'll bench this as well. And you know, might as well. I can play the Korrina. Yeah, it's select the supporter. And nope, can't find any fighting Pokemon, that's for sure. Let's go for the VS Seeker. I think that's going to be the best choice right here. That way we can VS Seeker for the Shauna and draw into a nice hand size of 6 again. So that was very good. Good thing we were able to do that. Now my opponent plays another Korrina, being able to get the Mienfoo. This Zubat here can't retreat, but my opponent can get a Level Ball off of the Korrina and get the free retreat for the Golbat. And then we can see something like a fighting, a strong energy, muscle band, and well, my opponent's not going to need a fighting stadium because we don't play any EXs besides the Eviltal EX, which isn't out yet. We see a Trainer's Mail. My opponent will be able to get perhaps something else from that, or was that the Trainer's Mail? Maybe my opponent got the Trainer's Mail off of the Korrina. I wasn't really paying attention. Here is a muscle band, and that's it. All right, we have a Team Flare Grunt that we don't exactly need right here. Let's go ahead and play the Shauna, and we'll Shauna into a pretty good hand right here. We got the Malamar. Let's go with this right here, and I might just retreat right here, guys. Retreat into the Malamar and confuse him. All right, so that's what we're gonna do. Let's just go ahead. We're just gonna retreat, and let's go with the Entangling Control here. I'm gonna bench this one too, and here we go. Entangling Control. Bring out this guy and putting him in the confusion state. Maybe if he wants to attack, he's gonna have to flip tails. And again, we can get the Grimer out as well, so that's gonna be pretty good. We can go ahead and hit for 30, bringing the Shauna back into our hand. So we're looking pretty good right here. Here is a Korrina. Now my opponent could get a switch. We could see a switch, and if my opponent can evolve into the Zubat, we'll have free retreat, so when we can switch, we can see an energy drop. We can still get hit for a Euro turn for 40, and since we are fighting weak, that's going to hit us for double, plus the Muscle Band. That'll be a knockout, so we're taking a huge risk right here. Hopefully my opponent does not have everything to pull it off, but thank goodness we didn't see it, and we should be able to pull off what we want to pull off right now, I think. I don't think my opponent's going to retreat either, so let's just go ahead and hit for a Trash Tentacle. All right, hitting for 30 damage right here. Let's go ahead. We will get the Shauna. I think the Shauna is going to be the one that we want. And here we go. So my opponent right now can still hit us if he flips heads. We're taking a huge risk right here, assuming my opponent... But we didn't see my opponent with an energy card, nor did we see my opponent get a Professor's Letter from that Karina. We see a level ball that could go for another Mian Xiao onto the bench, or we could see a Golbat. That way my opponent can have free retreat. Maybe we could see a switch and free retreat. But never mind. All we see is my opponent evolve into the Mian Xiao right now. Still no energy. Here is the energy. Do we see a retreat? We see a Sycamore. Do we see a switch? Do we see a Zubat evolve? That could definitely change the game right now. And if that happens, do we see that switch? That's the question. Unless my opponent flips tails. Does my opponent flip tails? That's another really good question. And yeah, these are definitely good questions to ask. But here we go. This is the coin. This is the coin. Oh, my opponent does flip heads. Oh my goodness. And all that effort was wasted. So let's see here. Depending on what my opponent brings out, we see a Golbat. So you know what? I'm actually gonna promote this Inkay right here, and we're gonna go with this. Let's see here. Let's go with this right here. Oh no! Are you kidding me? We are all out. Do we have the Sacred Ash? Or do we even, let's see, there it is, there's a Sacred Ash. Okay, so, if this is the case, we're gonna have to go with the Bunnelby, and, probably just play Bunnelby. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't want to play the Shauna, I don't think. Yeah, we're gonna play the Shauna. Let's go ahead, we will get the Diggersby. Let's get the Muck right here. Okay, man, we just didn't get anything. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's play the Sableye. We'll switch into the Sableye. We'll even get this here as well. And Bewitching Eyes. All right, perfect. What we really want is perhaps we can go for Professor Birch's Observation. Yeah, let's try that. What I did think about doing is playing the Karina, and that way we can get the Sacred Ash, guarantee the Sacred Ash. And I think that's what I want to do. Alright, so here we go. Let's go ahead and grab that Sacred Ash. That way we can, at the very least, get more Inkays and more Malamars. Now, we have a bunch of these Bunnelbees that we're really just sacrificing right now. My opponent can take 3 of them, and he will still have 2 prizes left to go. But this Sableye here very likely will go down, and our retreat cost is 3 right now. Oh, that is ridiculous. Here is a Fighting Stadium, so our retreat cost is at 2. My opponent's retreat cost is a 1 because of the Team Aqua's Muck, so that's actually pretty nice. That way my opponent will still need to burn in energy for this turn just to retreat. So we could see, I don't know, I don't think I really want to do this attack. That's kind of silly. It only hits for 30 for 2 energies. That's not efficient. There it is. My opponent will play the energy right here. And we may have to play an energy on the Sableye to get the retreat as well. And then retreat into the Bunnelby. We are by no means in any position to try to deck my opponent out right now. That's a little bit disappointing. But we could try to, I don't know, we could try some other things as well. We do have a Lysander, which we can bring out, maybe the Mienfoo here, kind of taunting my opponent, forcing my opponent to retreat or evolve, and then hit us from the, play another energy drop and hit us for another Euro turn. Here is a VS Seeker. We could see my opponent go for another Karina that way. Oh, no, goes for the Lysander instead, maybe promoting the Muck. Oh, man, here is the Muck. Oh, that's a bummer. We do get hit for 20 because we are weak to Psychic, and that's a little bit depressing. So we do get this right here. Let's go ahead and bring these guys back in, and let's see here. We could play this energy on the Team Magma's Muck and play the retreat. That's going to be pretty devastating. But you know what? We're going to have to do the slow and steady wins the race. Perhaps we could try to pull that off. One switch isn't in the discard pile. We do have a couple of those, so maybe we can draw into that as well. Again, we got to wait and see. What does my opponent do? You know, won't be able to have the retreat. He'll have to play a switch, or he'll have to play another energy somehow, but otherwise we will buy ourselves a turn right here. And the Mian Xiao here will hit us with a Euro turn, but I don't see that being too big of a threat right now, and that's it. So, okay, so my opponent's going to plan to, my opponent is planning to retreat right here in the next turn, so, you know, or we could see an Euro turn. You know, let's just go for the Birch. Maybe we'll get a switch off of this. And perfect. Oh, that's great. Oh, this is even better. Look at that, huh? All right, we'll end the turn right here. My opponent's got no energies on this side of the field. This is going to be a long, drawn-out game, that's for sure. And very long and drawn-out game indeed. We see a Sycamore. Please do play more Sycamores. Maybe we'll have a shot at milling my opponent to win the game that way. Here's another Mienfoo. We have plenty of Mienshous right here ready to attack us. And we really need to get more of these, collect these things back into our hand somehow. We need to get that one and only Malamar. So we got 3 Malamars in our deck. And that's very brutal. So 2 of our Team Aqua Secret Base are already in the discard pile. We're going to have to go with the Bumblebee here, guys. We will need a retreat. Let's go and see if we can flip heads. And yes, we do. We will have to pay the retreat. Let's go with the Bumblebee here. Try to get back some of our resources. And let's go with the... I think we're going to go with the Shauna. I think it's probably a safe bet. I don't want to play... Oh, wow. There's the Malamar. And our Bumblebee... okay, let's just shuffle a couple things back into our deck. For sure, the Team Aqua's base, and let's shuffle back the Switch as well. We do have a Professor Birch's observation available to us. So if we can get a Switch, that'll be really nice. And if we can get a Stadium, that would be great too. So my opponent still has a 1 retreat cost. He has no energy on his side of the field. He still needs to play an energy on the Golbat to retreat. We see my opponent play a Sycamore again. We could still see my opponent play a Switch. And then we can get hit for a knockout here. 1 hit for a Euro turn. It doesn't matter with the Muscle Band or not. We'll knock out this Bumblebee. Because of weakness, we are weak to Fighting type. And that's okay. My opponent's only taken 1 prize so far. This is a very interesting battle here. We could see us get hit for another 10 across the board, and I think that might be happening right now with the swoop across. So we have yet to see the Crobat. All we've seen so far is just 1 Zubat and 1 Golbat, and there it is. My opponent retreats into the Robo Substitute, and we could see my opponent discard the Robo Substitute or something else. So right now we are in a huge predicament. We need to get the Switch. If we can get the Switch, we can try to see if we can pull something off right now. Maybe confuse the Golbat. I think that's probably our best bet. But the Golbat can still retreat with 1 retreat cost. So here, we'll play this down right here, and let's go for the Professor Birch's observation, flipping tails. We do get the Switch. This is perfect. And here we go. Let's go with the Entangling Control. Do we want the Mienshao and having the opportunity to do that to us? But you know what? I'm actually going to go for the Golbat. Force my opponent play an energy. I didn't want to take the chance. If I brought this Mienshao out, my opponent could have flipped heads, played an energy, flipped heads, knock out the Malamar in 1 shot, right? Even if I brought this one out, the Euro turn would have hit us for 80. Oh no, my opponent plays a Lysander, brings out the Muck. And right here, our Golbat will be able to retreat. And with the confusion, hurts himself. That's too funny. And here it is. We'll counter the Stadium. And we actually... can actually use this Diggersby as well. Oh, that's kind of nice. We may be able to evolve the Diggersby. But for now, I think I'm pretty content with just sitting on our hand. My opponent is down to 9 cards, down to 8 cards. Our Bumblebee here can probably start milling my opponent. We have 3 of them. Here is the Golbat. Here is a strong energy. We could see my opponent retreat. And, nope, never mind. My opponent goes for the confusion again. Oh my goodness. That is great. Wow, I did not expect to see that. My opponent will definitely retreat right here. And that means we have an opportunity. If we can retreat this Muck somehow, we... oh, wow, my opponent hurts himself 1 more time. Incredible. We got a prize from my opponent hurting confusion. Oh, my goodness. I did not expect to see that, nor did I want to. And let's go with the Crushing Hammer. We even flip heads right there. Wow, this is great. This is just ridiculous. All right, so we're actually going to have to go with the VS Seeker. I'm going to go for the Professor Birch's observation here. Getting a little risky. We did flip heads. We don't get another Switch, but we do have an energy drop here that we can use. Oh, wow, those flips are not on my side, my opponent says. And I will end the turn. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a bummer. Yeah, that's a bummer. And I'll give him a sad face. Okay. Oh, yeah. I would be pretty disappointed, too, because, man, coin flips are terrible. Now, my opponent will be able to hit this Muck. Thank goodness we don't have weakness. We will survive the turn, even with a Muscle Band, but we did discard, I think, 3 of those Muscle Bands. Nope, only 2. Only 2 Muscle Bands. My opponent can still play 1 more. And again, this Mian Shao here is a 3 retreat cost, but it doesn't really matter. My opponent can just for a Euro turn bring out a Robo substitute and just discard the Robo substitute, no problem. We see an equal arm. Here is the focus slash, all that stuff. I believe the equal arm brings them back and shuffles them into your deck. Oh man, that is very convenient for my opponent. Now we will play the retreat right here, and I'm going to take a huge risk right now. Do I play the Malamar or do I play the Bumblebee? And you know, I think I'm going to play the Bumblebee. I think the Bumblebee is the right choice right now. I've lost no more energy, and yep, looks like that's going to be it. We will discard. Oh, there was one more energy, and we discarded the energy. Oh my goodness, my opponent had one last energy right there, but we have discarded it. Let's look at it. My opponent's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 energies in the discard pile. There could be more energies, but that's going to be it. We're just going to burrow and discard more cards. Oh my goodness, that may be it. Oh no. I'm going to say, oh no. We've just discarded more resources. We see a trainer's mail as well as a fighting stadium. And here is a muscle band. And oh my goodness, we'll just have to keep burrowing. There it is. There's a muscle band, and there is the Crobat. Oh no, my opponent grabbing that last card, and that's going to be it for the game. This was a long, drawn-out game. I will just end the turn, and we will take the victory. I'll say GG to my opponent, and that is, oh wow, 14 minutes total game time, and oh wow. How many turns was that? 16 turns. Malamar, the MVP. Flipping 4 heads. My opponent flipped 3 and 2. We got 4 and 5. Both of us flipped 5 times. That's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, we only put out 30 damage, and that was it. Wow. Man, that was just kind of a long, drawn-out match, but certainly a fun one to play. So again, thanks so much for watching the video. If you guys liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. And if you're a returning subscriber, thanks so much for subscribing. And once again, thanks so much for sharing this deck list. I do appreciate it, and I do know you guys have plenty of deck lists that you guys want to send my way, and I do see them. Trust me, I have the whole list right here. I just do a quick search for build this deck please, hashtag build this deck please, and I see them all the time, and I do look at them. So thanks so much for supporting this channel, being a part of this journey. You guys take care. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.